Welcome to MagicGatheringStrat. All you Stratters out there in Stratland, I'm Brennon, your lovable host. Along with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Sam, the Vault Boy Hunter. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, everybody.
And Dan, the Fan of History.
Greetings, gentlemen.
Greetings, Dan. Well, what are we going to talk about this week on the Ye Old Show? Episode 52. How many mechanics does it take to make a set? Guess we'll find out. Alright. As usual, we'll talk about some Standard Pauper. We'll go into the week in review, and then with the Pauper Gauntlet, it's getting hot and heavy in here, folks, with the Pauper Gauntlet coming down to the wire. So, let's move on to Standard Pauper. What do we got this past Sunday? SPDC 32-05. It's March 6th. 9 players. Only 9? Oh my gosh. But 9 reported. Whoa, somebody just fell down.
Sorry, I moved my table.
3-round Swiss top 4 playoff. Coming in first, the lovely and talented Dr. Chris Baker with Sultai Grind. Second was Stompa by Proboscis. Coming in at the top 4, Golgari Grind, a free AK, which is, I like to think I did very well with that. I like to think that that deck has improved with the new set. And rounding out the top 4, Harnessing the Power of the Cradle by Zombie Neko. I'm afraid I didn't even have a chance to look at that deck. I hope it's awesome. With the name that huge. But let's take a look at, I'm afraid, not Dr. Chris's deck. Because if there's one thing you guys should know about me, what does a deck have to be to make me fall in love with it?
Green.
It needs to be monocolored. That's right.
Ah.
Stompa is all forests all the time.
Oh my gosh, it is Orchard Spirit.
Orchard Spirit. I was hoping you would notice.
Oh.
That is hot.
That's some, as Saffron Olive would say, it's a spicy brew.
This is like last pick draft cards. Oh my god.
Timber Pack Wolf. Look at that. Look at that hotness down there.
I'm in love.
Isn't it great?
It is amazing.
You got Epic Confrontation. Holy crap. Might of the Masses. Wow. And Titanic Growth. Titanic Growth, y'all.
Not even Dragon, not even Bear Punch.
Nope, no Bear
Dragon
Punch. That's amazing.
Wow.
This is hot.
And it went all the way up until the last. The only thing it lost to was Dr. Baker.
And it lost one game to Gonz's.
That's
in
it.
round 2.
Isn't that
Wow.
incredible?
Howie.
I'm telling you, this filled me with joy. Then you have
Amazing.
over here, yeah, Sideboard Aerial Volley, Glade Watcher, Plummet, Naturalize, Caustic Caterpillar. Although, I might just go full 4 Caustic Caterpillars over Naturalize. I don't know, maybe. That's hard to say. 1 Vines of the Recluse and another Hootie and the Mandrills. I'm telling you, this deck is crazy.
Yeah. What's going on?
It is Green Spell Punch Face.
It definitely doesn't have enough treasure cruises to satisfy Dan's needs.
It has 4 Evolving Wilds. Surely you could get to at least 1 blue.
Yeah, but I do love a mono green list, but this looks so strange.
Yeah.
It doesn't go wide. It
Nope.
isn't very big.
The biggest thing is the hooting mandrills.
Yeah. Doesn't have the trampler guy. He's still in format. The one who gives everyone trample.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he is.
The caribou or whatever it is.
Caribou.
Yeah, the deers. 3 green.
But this looks like it
5,
should
5.
die to everything, but apparently it didn't.
No. It almost won out.
It'd be.
Good work, Stompa!
Stompa.
I didn't face a traditional. Is it Blitz deck though?
That's very
It
true.
doesn't seem to have been one in the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think people are moving away from it just out of boredom. It's kind of getting to that point in the year.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. So it's really basically player initiated ban, if you will, just because people are tired of seeing it. Let's take a look at MPDC. You have Allied Junk by Malum. I haven't seen Malum in forever. And then you have Ja by Gons. You Are Mine by Joe Cool. So there's a is it list there. And
Finally.
Yep. Huskadrome by Voidy. I'm going to assume that's how you
a great name.
Voidy. I'm guessing that's what that's supposed to be. But anyway, that was MPDC 32-5. That would be today. 14 players, 10 reported. More could have reported, but I kind of did this a while ago, and that's the way it was. Top 8 playoff hosted by Gwynedd. So let's take a look at that Allied Junk. What do we got here? Colostria Healer, War Cleric, Stalwart, Envoy, McKindy, Colostria, Nightwatch. Whew, saying these names. Look, this might be, other than Kamigawa, the set with the longest names of all the creatures.
Yeah, they're sure working on that name shortage problem.
Right.
If you have Tajuru in the name, you know it's original.
Right. Yeah, and then Zulaport, Chain Mage. Good grief. Spells.
Yeah, just look at the names in Tempest or the early sets compared to this, when they could use any word.
Yeah. War Cleric. It's almost like Fighty Priest.
Fighty Priest would be an awesome name for the character. Let's not screw around. That would be amazing.
Fighty Priest.
Fighty Priest.
I said my Friday Priest.
Punchy McJesuit. Alright. Spells, Gideon's Reproach, Harsh Sustenance, Read the Bones, Dutiful Return Man. Look at this. Macabre Waltz. That's crazy. Then you have this lands. Oh my god. These lands. 6 Swamp, 4 Evolving, 4 Plains, 4 Scoured, 2 Blossoming, 2 Forest, and 2 Jungle Hollow. Wow. That is nuts. It's 24 lands, but them colors. Sideboard, Celestial Flare, perennial favorite. Duress, Oblivion Strike, Grim Contest. How long has it been since we've seen Grim Contest? Butt Fight, right? I think that's Butt Fight.
I completely forgot that card existed.
Me too.
Wow.
And then Macabre Waltz. Another one.
I guess with the 1/4 flying vampires, butt fight is a lot better.
Butt Fight's pretty good.
Yeah, we all like to butt fight.
Although Chain Mage, not so much. Isn't that a 4/2? What's Chain Mage?
Here, let me look.
I think Chain Mage is a 4/2. But still, that's totes crazy.
Yeah, but Chain Mage is like your alt-win con.
Yeah. Turns out tapping creatures to do 2 damage unstoppables pretty good.
Especially if one of them also gets you, it's a lightning bolt with the Vampire Envoy.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, that's right, because it also drain them.
Yeah, it gets you for 1 extra.
Damn. That's good.
That's grindy.
It is grindy. And all you got to do is just keep them alive and tap them at the end of their turn.
Just gotta keep
single turn.
Keep your creatures alive. I guess it's easier in Standard Pauper.
Right.
No Dice the Doomblade.
Well, no Doomblade. We'll probably, I don't know when we'll see Doomblade again.
We'll see it as an uncommon at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It might be too good for an uncommon as well at this point.
At this point, here. Mm-hmm.
I think we'll see Terror before we see Doomblade.
Terror, yeah. I think that's what you're probably right.
Don't get me wrong. I would like some Terror.
Yeah, they have some. There's really cool. My favorite art on Terror is the one that came out with. It was the set that they put out to celebrate Gatherer. You know, they put out a mini set a long time ago. It has the circle M as the symbol, and Terror has basically, it's like a dude, and then his muscle inner self is coming out his mouth, and then his skeletal self's coming out the mouth of that. It's like in a big circle. It's crazy.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, super gross.
Yeah. Thanks, Brennan.
No problem. Speaking of grossing everybody out, Sam, do you have any special news for us this week?
Special news, I'm not sure.
Okay, any news?
Well, I mean, the Modern Pro Tour was this weekend.
Yep.
And if anybody caught any of the stream, it was hot garbage.
Oh, I know.
Like, I don't understand how they're not better at streaming at this point. It was embarrassing. And I think it was Gabby, the streamer.
Gabby
chick.
Sparts. Yeah.
Yeah. It was her first time doing anything for them. And, like, they would cut to them, and she would start talking because, 1, 2, and then go.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, 3 minutes into her talking, the microphone would finally turn on.
Right.
And that happened multiple times throughout the course of the day. But she did great. And I thought her and LSP and Marshall did really good in the booth, considering what they had to work with. Her especially, because she hadn't had the practice that the other two have had at this point, because they're probably like old hat at all the screw-ups. Halfway through the last day, or going into the top 4, the quarterfinals, Aaron, what's-his-face, the head of R&D, yeah, he came out and he announced that there is definitely a ban incoming.
Yes.
To deal with the Eldrazi menace. So that was a welcome thing, I think. Everybody was
But I hope it's Eldrazi Temple and not the Ivugan.
Yeah, he made no...
He wouldn't nail down what they were thinking, which is good. I mean, it is good. But, like, I can't imagine that deck, like, people are probably selling it in mass droves, everything that they can burn off at this point, so...
Makes sense.
Other than that, we got some spoilers.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna pull up Mythic spoiler real quick. Give me 2 shakes to do that. Where's Mythic? Come on, Mythic.
Any interesting reprints?
No reprints.
Yeah, I haven't seen any yet.
I think that the Madness Lightning Bolt might get reprinted.
Oh, yeah, it is. Fiery Temper.
Yeah.
Because it was in the Clash pack, or it was in the Spoiled pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's okay. I would like the Circular Logic to get reprinted, but I think it might be too good. If it does, it'll probably be uncommon like it was originally.
I saw something interesting, because one of the things that was spoiled was Farbog Revenant. It's a 2 and a black for a 1/3, It has lifelink and skulk. And skulk is, this creature can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. So it's kind of like the opposite of a pit skulk.
Okay.
It's probably where they actually got the mechanic name when you think about it.
That's a weird name because when you say skulk, I think about skulking ghost.
Yeah, someone else said that too.
Skulking Ghost is a blue. Its drawback is blue now.
Okay.
The Phantasm.
The illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the illusion one. Yep. But someone said, do you think when they were discussing this set, they said to themselves, or they said in the group, so what if we brought back Shadow? And then they landed on Skulk instead, because Shadow would be basically, you land Shadow creatures, swing in, win. So
I mean,
I don't think
the problem
would
with
help.
bringing something like Shadow back is that they would have to burn in so many cards producing answers.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it would be like Heroic over again.
Yep.
But it would have to be done in a two-set block, and I just don't think they have the room to do something like that anymore.
There was one that I wanted to ask Dan about. There's one called Shard of Broken Glass. It's a 1-mana artifact, common, which we rarely get.
Equipment.
Equip is 1. Equip creature gets +1/+0. But the special text is, whenever equipped creature attacks, you may put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Is there a deck in Pauper that could use this and or wants this?
So you'll self-mill.
Self-mill.
But you could use some Bone Splitter instead. So you have to really want a self-mill.
Right.
I think there are more efficient ways to self-mill.
Yeah, I think so too. It always gets my hope up when I see a 1-mana artifact at common, but
it's an interesting combination, so maybe something. Standard Pauper.
Standard Pauper, possible.
I mean, the problem with that is
that the devil will be gone when it enters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Womp womp. Non-bow.
Fail.
That's too bad.
But trying to think. I wish the Madness Enabler Vampire was common.
Oh, the red one?
Yeah, no, the black one.
Black.
It's an uncommon. They spelled it not today. I think they spelled it over the weekend. If you scroll down, it'll pop up.
Oh, Heir to Falconwrath?
Heir to Falconwrath, Heir to the Night. I don't think it's necessarily... I know it's an uncommon probably just for draft's sake overall, but I don't think it's too powerful not to be a common. Scroll up a little. Let's just do a real quick look over any of this other junk.
Delver got worse.
Yeah, it had to get worse. And then they changed how converted mana costs work.
Oh, that's right.
So the cards, even when they're flipped, they have the same converted mana cost as their non-flip side now, which makes Delver harder to deal with than any set that wants to use Ratchet Bombs to kill them.
Yep.
Any format that wants to use Ratchet Bomb, which is annoying for a lot of people. I want to see more stuff to do with the Clue guys. And we did get one at common, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the white one?
Yeah, the white one.
There she is.
One token, it makes a Clue.
Exactly. Then Clues, for anyone who does not know, is a colorless artifact token that goes onto the battlefield. It has 2 sacrifice, draw a card.
That sounds useful.
Yeah. The fact that it is an artifact, even though you do have to pay 2 to draw, but still, that artifact in Pauper has always been so useful.
It sounds like a great way to get Metalcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more
and
my
Affinity.
And Affinity. Mm-hmm.
And then you can, I mean, it's like, when you think about it, it's like, it's like playing an Ichor Wallspring, and you can just go off with it. But I guess it doesn't. I wish the clue read more like the Chromatic Star did.
Oh, when it goes to the graveyard?
Through the card anytime it went out of play.
Yeah.
It's probably a little too powerful. I do think Warp Landscape will see play in Standard Pauper, probably not in Classic Pauper, simply because we have the Terramorphics and
Evolving.
Yeah. Those are just strictly better. And I like Fart quite a bit, but I always like Tempo. So just the Wind.
Oh, Fart. Just
Fart.
Yeah.
I'm always going to call it Fart. I'm sorry. That is the worst naming of a card. Oh, Wizards, what did you do? Why would you do that?
Yeah. The only problem with this is it's in the same spot that Vapor Snag is in.
Well, yeah, Standard Pauper.
Oh, Standard Pauper, I got you. Yeah,
I'm pretty much not going to talk about most of these cards in relation to Classic Pauper, simply because we all know most of them won't translate over. I mean, it's just not very likely. Maybe the Inspector could see some play. It's a 1/2 for 1, and then it could shoot the artifact and all of that, but I mean, that seems like unlikely. Scroll up just a little. We don't normally talk about like rares. This flip card, the Elusive Tormentor, Insidious Mist.
Right.
Have you looked these over? Have you looked this over?
It's a Elusive Tormentor's 2 and 2 black vampire. It's a 4/4. It's not bad.
And you can discard a card, pay 1, discard a card to transform it.
And it turns into Mist.
It turns into a 0/1 hexproof indestructible creature that can't be blocked and can't block. And then when you attack, you can pay 2 and a black to transform it back.
If it wasn't blocked, so it's like Ninja Vampire.
So it's like, but it's a million bazillion mana to get an unblockable 4/4, and there's slip through space already in the format. I mean, come on. I guess like in sealed or limited or something like that. It just seems really weird. I do really like Thing in the Ice.
I was looking at that right now. That's flavorful.
Yes. Thing in the Ice is awesome.
It's going to be quite playable. I think it's going to see play in a few different formats. It just feels like it's powerful.
Yes.
It's fairly easy to flip over, and then its other side is huge tempo. I mean, it's just crazy good. Right. So
when it flips, it return all non-horror creatures to their owner's hands. That's ridiculous.
And it's a 0/4. I mean, it's already like really hard to deal with.
Right. I've made this point. I made this point all weekend, and I think I'm playing into Wizards' own marketing by making myself a raving lunatic. But okay, let's go down here. Magnifying glass sees a tiny little eyeball forming on this person's shoulder. There's all kinds of sea-based craziness, like Just the Wind is, like if you look at the curtains, it looks like tentacles and stuff. There's all kinds of tentacles and things about the sea. And the icing on the cake, so to speak, for me, even though I had my suspicions earlier, was Thing in the Ice. It has ice counters. What famous card, what super expensive card has ice counters on it?
They've used ice counters before?
Yep. It's Dark Depths.
The land.
Dark Depths.
Dark Depths.
With Merit Lage.
Merit Lage?
Yep. And Merit has tentacles, is a horror. If Nahiri really wanted to screw up everything, summoning Merit to this plane is so much more Cthulhu and better than any Eldrazi ever wanted to be. If what is being summoned is Merit, because, okay, look right here. If you see Runo Stromkirk, who's always worshipped some ancient sea god, Merit Lage lived in the sea. says it serves as evidence to the ancient power of the deep, a reminder that the sea is the only thing worthy of reverence. If Wizards did something good, they threw everybody off by making Emrakul not there, making people think that Emrakul's coming here, and it's actually Marit Lage. A super throwback to the olden days.
Nice.
If it is just Emrakul, this will be the biggest yawn of a storyline that I've ever seen Wizards do. It will be absolutely freaking boring. Like, why would you... I mean, that's not even a suspense. Emrakul wasn't in the last set. Oh my god, Emrakul's in this set.
Well, I mean, this was originally designed to be the third set.
I realize that, but what design space can you fill and hold off Emrakul to sell another set? Like, what creature in Magic history can you put in that spot? There isn't a better one. It is the precursor to everything that became Eldrazi.
No, and I'm fine.
Biggest creature in Magic.
Yep.
I'm very, very tired of the Eldrazi at this point. I mean, that's unfortunately just kind of like...
Well, we've been hit over the head with it, yeah.
Yeah. And so I want something other than Eldrazi to be in... I would have preferred them just to go, it's Cthulhu. It's just Cthulhu.
It's just straight Cthulhu.
We paid HP Lovecraft's heirs to go ahead and just use Cthulhu. I mean, we're not screwing around. It's Cthulhu. And I mean, Merit's as close as we're probably going to get, like, in-house, even though the Eldrazi are close, like, style-wise, but they're annoying.
Right, and my other thing was, at no point in Eldrazi history did they actually change the people, because there's a picture of these kid vampires, and they all got multiple fingers, and they got multiple eyeballs and weird heads coming out of them. At what point had any Eldrazi done that? Like, they've never changed creatures like that. I think they did something with creating the vampires, but I was tweeting at Vorthos Mike, and he was like, because I said, I don't know enough to say this with any kind of authority. He said, they've never changed things on a micro scale. They've clearly changed the landscape because that's what they do. But they have never bothered, like, infecting people. And, like here, infecting the drapes. Why would they infect the drapes? It doesn't make any sense. But if you're an ancient necromancer, not even necromancer, if you're an ancient badass like Marit Lage, and you enjoy tormenting, guess what you're going to do? You're going to torment. So
maybe it's the lesbian love union of Marit and Emrakul.
Hey, I'll buy that for $1.
Marit's a female?
Yes, it's a very common Nordic name for a girl.
Is it? Oh, well, yeah. I live over on this side of the pond, so...
It's there's a lot of Norse names in the in Ice Age.
I gotcha. Well, that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, hey, I'll buy it. The actual meeting of the Eldrazi and Marit, that would be crazy. Maybe they fight.
Have you seen that size picture of Magic creatures?
No, I don't think so.
It's size comparisons of Magic creatures. You have like Primeval Titan and a human, and it scales up. And Emrakul is the biggest thing on the graph. But then you see just a shadow in the background.
Yeah,
like, it fills the entire thing, and then it just says Marit large.
Let's see if I can. Oh, whoa! Look at this. View image. Yeah, we're gonna view this image. Oh my gosh! Wow. I don't have the names on this one. This one's clearly a fan-based one, but
power and toughness size comparison. Oh, here's one with Marit actually big.
Why is it doing this? Stupid mother. I swear to God.
Yeah, without the names.
This is irritating. They screwed it up to where you have to view the whole page instead of just viewing the freaking image. Listen, people, I just want to view the image.
What are you doing, people?
I don't care about your stupid blog. I just want to use your IP for my own game.
On the internet.
What'd you say it was, Dan? What was the other name for it?
MTG size comparison. Oh, power and toughness size comparison.
Oh, power and toughness size comparison. Do.
But I've seen this with names on it.
Yeah, me too. Oh, well, actually, no, I haven't. What am I saying? I would assume there would be. Yeah, the only one I see is this MTG fan Tumblr, and I can't look at the image because they're big jerks.
Yep. Okay, screw that.
Oh, well.
We'll link it, and everybody can go check it out on their own if they haven't seen it. Because I haven't seen it. I'm interested.
Let's see.
There were some weird pictures of Emrakul on the web. Emrakul versus Galactus.
Versus what? You broke up.
Galactus.
Oh, Galactus. That's ridiculous. Oh, yeah, here's Dark Steel. Oh, Emrakul is tiny compared to Merit. But see, Merit has all these eyeballs. Does Emrakul even have eyeballs? No.
It's unclear.
I'm telling you.
Okay, back to the podcast.
Go Bolus on there.
All right. Back to life. Back to reality. All right, Dan. What is up with you?
Well, it's been a lot of murder stuff for that podcast and YouTube show, but now it's a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
And it's by far my biggest podcast now.
Wow. That blew up overnight.
Yeah, starting it a couple of weeks before the 30-year anniversary. And I'm talking, of course, of the murder of Swedish Prime Minister Olof Palme back in 1986. And it's like a religion. There's a lot of people that are interested in this unsolved murder. So it's quite fun. Very different from anything else I've done.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome that it took off. It's weird that it took murder to make a
oh, murder is interesting.
Yeah, murder is. Everybody loves it. They don't love doing it.
Otherwise, it's been mostly the Gauntlet.
Oh yeah, it's all Gauntlet all the time.
Oh, I did for my next episodes of the modern thing, converting Pauper decks to modern.
Oh, that's right.
It's Delver Fiend again. That
More
was a lot of fun.
Fiend.
And the Magus Elemental is a fun card.
Yeah, that seems like that works really well in the deck.
Yeah, I thought it had to have more like storm cards and stuff, but it's still working pretty fine.
That's great. Yeah, everybody be looking out for that because that's going to happen on the channel.
Yeah, and we're also going to play some Standard Pauper after this.
Yeah,
on the channel, and Sam.
Standard Pauper. All right. Well,
what about your week, Brennan?
My week? Not too much. Just watched the Magic broadcast, despite its many failings. But one thing I did want to talk about was FNM. Somebody did an FNM. Hold on. Damn it. Stupid. There we go. Come on. Computer. Technology. Lion's Den. Lion's Den. Comic book store actually did, and this is in Vidor, Texas. They did an FNM of Pauper. That's right, $5, and they ended up with an FNM Pauper tournament. Let's give a little breakdown as brought to us by our friend John. Hosted its first Pauper FNM last Friday. Had great attendance. Many top tier 1 decks. Also, we had things like Delver, Turbo Angler, Goblin, Elves, all that kind of stuff. But let's take a quick rundown of what the top 4 were like. Number 1 was Hexproof, or Bogles. That's right. Bogles won. Then one called Real MBC, which is mono black control with Pestilence. Number 3 was a black-red Tortured Existence deck. Oh my goodness. And number 4 was Affinity. John went on to say he was on he was on RMBC and had great games against Hexproof both in Swiss and top 4. He thought it'd be a favorite with 6 Edict effects and 5 Wrath effects, but unfortunately his opponent sided into Young Wolf, and that just didn't bode well. So anyway, good news is a good showing, which is great. Wanted to make sure, no high tides and no goblin grenade, no stink holes, and no hymn to Turoks were allowed. So that's some good ban list.
Yeah, you don't want to.
No, you'll just have all high tides.
Yeah.
I think just use the Magic Online format.
Right. That's essentially what he did. Those others are common outside,
Crazy.
but none of there.
Remember when Baba went and played at the tournament in Seattle?
Oh yeah.
And they didn't do any ban lists, I don't think. They did like the online ban list, but they did paper rarity.
Yep.
And it was crazy. It was just crazy because there's not really answers to High Tide and Pauper.
Right, but Bava, through some fortunate events, actually came with the deck that was pre-sideboarded against all those because of Suture Priest. They didn't have a way to get rid of Suture Priest, and to make all that mana, they had to bounce. They can't do it now because of fairies, but they had to bounce constantly. And guess what? Bouncing causes pain, and you don't get enough bounces to go infinite if you're taking one a hit. So yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, good. Nice shout out to Lion's Den. Very cool.
We love you, Lion's Den.
Heck yeah.
We'll make you milkshakes. Come over to our house.
Sure. All right. Oh, and don't forget Redbubble. I ordered 2 shirts. They're on their way. When I get them, I will exclaim all their virtues. But redbubble.com/people/MagicGatheringStrat Shop.
Before we transition to Pauper Gauntlet, one thing that's not Pauper Gauntlet related.
Sure.
We did, over the last week, tweeted about somebody who's running a unified
that's right.
Zendikar Sealed League.
Forgot about that.
And if anybody's interested, they can hit me on Twitter, and we'll find the link for them. The sign up ends, I think, on Friday, and then the guy who's running it's going to send out the sealed lists. So, Unified Zendikar.
What was the league?
It's
Sealed.
Unified Zendikar.
Oh,
Sealed.
okay.
Yeah. I think that looks interesting. Very, very interesting. So, because original Zendikar block is full of Pauper staples.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of great
stuff. So yeah, it looks fun. I just wanted to give that a shout out. So
it's possible to go mono walls with the what's that one wall that you tap it and does a damage for each of the other similar. The Vent Sentinel, that's the one. There you go. Maybe you'll get a bunch of those. All right. Well, Dan, it's that time of the evening again where we talk about the Pauper Gauntlet.
I think this was a bit of a break in the Pauper Gauntlet, or at least a bit of slowing down a little. And this pace was... the pace will become more intense now. We'll finish round 6, and then we'll go into weekly rounds. And round 6 has gone so well, actually, this week.
Nice.
So the number of decks is almost unchanged, probably, for round 7. So next week, the week after next week will be super intense.
Cool.
We have 9 matches for this week, and then I played 3 more yesterday. That wasn't in the article.
One of them you went, I'm going to put this up immediately.
Yeah. It was pretty spectacular, though.
Yeah, let's talk about that one first.
Sure.
Tell me about it.
Hold on. I'm pulling it up as I can't remember. It wasn't Goblins. Which was the one that went up?
Blue-Green Madness.
Blue-Green. Was it Blue-Green Madness? Oh, yeah. And then you had... And you were up against... Hold on.
Grixis Teachings.
Grixis. I really thought that... Because didn't you mold a 5 on that last one?
I can't remember. I should remember. It was yesterday.
Right. Yeah. Blue-Green Madness. I'm trying to think of how it ended, because it was pretty amazing.
If you have postmenopause...
Stupid.
I thought we had a really good build for Blue-Green Madness last season, but this build is fantastic.
I remember you broke down the cards, or the decks that it has won out against.
Yeah.
So far to get to this point, and it was like, oh, it's beat basically all of the top tier round after round.
I can tell you right now what Blue-Green Madness has played against. First, we defeated Delver Fiend 2-1.
Right. You did mold a 5.
White Weenie Soul Tokens 2-1. Delver 2-0. Delver 2-1, and now Grixis Teachings 2-0.
Yeah, I thought it was over. You mold down to 5, and I was like, oh crap. At this point, save your time, scoop at the earliest possible point, so you have enough time to play round 5. But man, you just kept hanging in there. You kept your logic, circular logics when you needed them. You happened to get a lucky days. Gush, even though at one point on Gush you hit like 20 lands in a row, he was not doing enough, or she was not doing enough to whittle your life points down. They had 30 life at some point, but then you kept hitting Root Walla after Root Walla. And then you had, there was one time where you could have won because you you played a land. You could have, I think you could have either saved your Wild Mongrel, or you could have got one extra.
Yeah, I could have saved it. Yeah,
could have saved it. Yeah. But you played a land, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then it looked like, "Oh."
I played it straight into coming Stagger Shock that I knew about.
Yeah, it was on its way.
That was pretty bad. But the 4 deep analysis in the deck, that's a nightmare for control deck.
Oh yeah, because you filled your hand. Gush and deep analysis. Holy crap. Yeah, they can, and if they waste a counterspell on deep analysis, who cares? Because
it's
just
such a good card on Black Control.
Yeah.
I haven't played yet.
Yeah, I think the 3 colors of that other deck did not do them any favors. And then you just kept swinging in, pumping your dudes. So yeah, that was an intense match. And that last match, the first match was over in 6 minutes, and the last match took almost an additional 35 minutes.
Yeah, and I had like 2 cards in my library at the end.
Yeah. Oh, my favorite line. Was it on this one?
Yeah, it was here.
It was on this favorite line. It was like, you're down. I could draw 2 cards. That's pretty ballsy. I was like, yes. Yeah, oh, and then you did your song when you were swinging in. Oh, hold on, let me think of... Oh, yeah. Everybody swings that face. Doo-dah, doo-dah. That was great.
We are gonna win this race. Hey, do that.
Hey. Yes. It was awesome. So off the cuff. It made me laugh. That was good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I get for being married to a dance teacher. So that was from one of her shows.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because I've known that forever.
Yeah, it's Yankee Doodle.
Yeah, Yankee Doodle.
Yeah.
No, not Yankee Doodle.
Yesterday.
It's Hamptown Racetrack. Hamptown Racetrack.
Oh, it is.
Song,
yeah,
that's
right.
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, Hamptown Racetrack. Okay, what were you saying, Dan?
I played White Weenie Soul Tokens against another Grixis control deck.
Yep.
Yesterday as well, but he quit on me.
That was the weird Grixis control with chain lightnings over lightning bolts and questionable choices, and then he just scooped up super quick.
Yeah, I remember being very impressed by the amount of cards he had found space for in the deck. Like chain lightning, what the...
Yeah, why would you pick that ever?
Anything?
No, I think he had lightning bolts as well.
Oh, he had both?
I think so. That must be the only sane reason to play chain lightning.
Right. I don't know, man. But yeah, scoops.
The other match that went up on the main channel yesterday was the Goblin Storm combo match. Did you watch that?
Yes, I watched that tonight. That was nuts.
That guy was...
It keeps impressing me.
It's a crazy deck. You got down again. You got down to, let's see how many cards.
And against the control deck as well.
Right. Yeah. That's the one. You got down to 4 cards.
Was it even Grixis control?
No, it was just Demir.
Ah.
Demir Teachings. It's a teachings deck.
Yeah. I remember in the comments he was like, "Oh, well, if I had known that that's what your deck could do, I would have kept the counterspell in my hand."
Right.
And then, like, he didn't in the second game, and you just got him. I mean, it's an awesome deck. I really enjoy it.
Right. Once you're drawing 5-10 cards a turn, there's not much they can do.
Yeah, that attack in the first duel was it 2 bushwhackers?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage.
Yes, it was.
In the second duel, you took him from 38 to -2 or -4.
So like, he's only at 38.
Right. He could only block 2 of them. Oh, and I felt so bad when he brought in the Hydroblast. I heard you say it, and I was like, why on earth would you bring in Hydroblast? What are you going to do?
Yeah, and I could even have used it, but
No.
I didn't. Against that Echoing Decay. I could have killed the Goblin and countered the
countered. That's true. You could have countered the Echoing Decay. That's true.
I didn't even do that. So for the original 9 matches from last week, they were pretty sad. I went 5-4.
Yeah.
So Mono Red Heroic defeated Kuldotha Jeskai. That was a fun match because he was like playing some tapped lands and I was hitting him for 20.
Mm-hmm.
So Mono Red Heroic, very impressive. Again, just like last year.
It's going crazy.
I think it's even tighter than it was last year. I mean, it's definitely tighter than it was last year. So
yeah, it's it could go far. In fact, cannot, because it was crushed by Demir Teachings, and I missed the kill there with Infect. That's a shame.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt.
But I think that even if I had won that duel, It's very hard to win the match. It's a terrible matchup.
Yep. Not easy.
It was the reason I stopped playing Infect competitively back in the days of Invigorate was trinket control. Just the amount of hate from any blue-black deck for Infect is horrible.
Yeah, because you're not hexproof. You don't have too many ways of protecting your dude. I mean, you have some, but...
Yeah, but this is 12 creatures against like 15 removal spells.
You're right.
So, well, Infect can always explode, but yeah, that was bad. Green 1 keeps winning. Defeated Affinity 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Very aggressively. Another surprise deck. The last deck from the Pauper Road Cup. Iset Kuldutha defeats Midnight Presence 2-0.
Yeah, I felt
it's in round 7.
Yeah, I felt that you were just outclassing that Midnight's Present deck.
So
I think the Iset Kitty deck. Sam, you were saying?
I was going to say that's what happens when you play good cards and they don't.
Yes, Midnight Presence, the Spectre of Pauper. I think the Iset Kitty deck, like, the lack of life gain will kill it at some point. But it's really doing so much kitty stuff. It has more card draw than any other kitty version, I think. And it's fun. It's Value Town.
Heck yeah.
And then another surprise hit died horribly. It was Blue Bichinho against Mono Black Control. And that wasn't fun.
No, that was a nightmare. All your little dudes died.
Yes, they sure did.
Made me sad.
And then we lost Death Control as well against Tron. Also felt pretty hopeless. There I missed a kill as well, but I was so dominated.
Right.
So I doubt I would take the third game. And then we have the reigning champion of the Pauper Gauntlet, Stompy, runs into a quitter.
Ugh.
What the hell?
I seem to remember that guy scooped up after you played a Nettle Sentinel.
Oh, yes.
Ranger.
Yeah, it's like he's scared of the Quarian Ranger.
Maybe he just hates elves.
My 1/1 was too powerful.
Yeah, so Stompy doesn't need these freebies.
No.
But then the runner-up, Burn, died in round 6, losing to Teachings.
That is unfortunate.
Yes. Well, Burn usually dies to itself. I think Teachings is a pretty good matchup, really.
Yeah.
But not this time.
Oh yeah, weren't you stuck with a needle drop for like 3
Yes,
turns?
yeah, I was ranting on needle drop.
God.
But somebody did make a good suggestion there that I could have needle drop myself to get out of that bind. And that's probably what I should have done.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Because it was very close. Did I have him down to 1 life in the final loop?
You did.
Wow. Well, I'm not happy about needle drop because of Shittering Rats, because of counter spells. So you have like a burn spell and needle drop, and then you cast the burn spell, it gets countered, and then you sit there with needle drop.
Forever. Just like what happened.
But the final match that we are going to talk about was a great one. Stompy Tokens against Burn.
Yes. The deck I like, Stompy Tokens. That's the one
It's
I'm
amazing.
Picking. It goes super wide, and it gets real tall when you have that one what's that green creature? The one green that's equal to the number.
I don't remember the name either.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody can
Avatar
remember.
of something or other.
Avatar of the big badasses.
3 mana for an XX creature equal to
the
number of creatures you have.
Right. It used to be rare.
And now it's common.
Thank you, Modern Masters 2.
I think, of course, that Stompy Tokens will have, when it runs into deck with a lot of sweepers, it will just crumble and die.
Well, let's make sure that doesn't happen.
But Raising Burn was pretty nice. Like, Might of the Masses.
Might of the Masses, yes. That was
20
awesome.
damage.
Yep, that was really cool. I was impressed.
And now we're moving into the rest of round 6, and then we'll go into weekly rounds, as I said. And next week, the week of round 7, will be super intensive. It may be the chance that we get down to the top 10 playoffs. So if I end a round with less than 10 decks, but not 10 decks, there will be a top 10 playoff just like last year, and I will spend a week on the playoff.
Okay.
It could be a ridiculous amount of matches in the playoff, depending on how many decks there are. If there are like 8 decks in the playoff, it will be crazy.
And Dan is currently at something like, what did we figure out, like 270 matches in so far? Or something
we did a
like
count of the number of Pauper Gauntlet matches so far, and we are at 270 matches right now.
And so that means that most games you've got things done either winning or losing in 2 games. Most matches you've won or lost in 2. So like, let's say like 25% of those you've done the full 3. I mean, when you think about that, that's an astronomical amount of Magic that you've played so far. So just an insane amount, and you play other formats too. So it's just official. You're completely insane. You're just insane, Dan. Crazy.
Yes, and I must warn people out there that if you want to get good at playing a deck in Magic, you should not play 78 different decks.
No.
That's a big recipe for making stupid mistakes.
You should really play that 270 matches with 1 to 2 decks.
I would say
not 78.
Or you should put like 150 matches into Red Green Tron, and then Eldrazi shows up so you can't play it.
So you just have to throw that crap on.
I'm
on
a bit
the
bitter about Modern right now.
Yeah,
hey,
everybody is.
Wait a month. It's going to change.
It will change.
It's going to change rapidly.
It's just like 5 or 6 weeks left.
I would say less than that.
Yeah.
Because they will do it the Monday after pre-release.
But when is the pre-release?
April 8th.
Yeah, but isn't there a 2-week delay for online?
Well, okay, yeah.
That just means we're not important.
And people will still have unpicked decks in the competition.
Oh my god, really?
Yes. Though
That's
they
insane.
are running out now, but some of them are still in there.
People, just go out and say, I picked this one.
100 bot credits to the winner.
That's
no charge, no fee, no risk.
For free, and you're just letting it sit there.
Seriously? Yeah, and we have 4 top 10 decks remaining in the gauntlet. It's Bugs and Pigs, Green 1, Mono Red Heroic, and Stompy.
Yep.
Yeah, and who do you think will win the Pauper Gauntlet?
I'm still saying Stompy Tokens.
I want to say 1.
You gonna say what?
Green 1.
Green 1? Okay. Fair.
A Green 1 stumbled last year and won the top 10 playoff. But it seems to be doing quite well.
I feel like it's in a good place this year. Emotionally, mentally.
Yeah. It's really got its stuff together this year.
Yeah.
Really knows who it is.
It went out and got a job. It got an associate's degree. It's just really on the right path.
Right. I'm proud of it.
I really would like to see an analysis by a good Stompy player what you're giving up in green one. Maybe you are giving up some resiliency.
Yeah.
But it seems like a stronger deck than Stompy.
You know what I want to see? I need to see Goblin Storm combo versus Stompy tokens. I need to see what happens there.
I don't think the Goblin Storm combo has any chance. So it does have a chance of doing a freakish combo, but it's not that fast.
Yeah. I feel that's like Godzilla versus King Kong. I mean, you know Godzilla's going to win, but you still want to see it happen, right?
Why would Godzilla win?
He's got radiation breath.
King Kong's a big monkey.
With flammable fur.
Whatever.
But you still want to watch it happen.
Yes. I think Stompy Tokens is also very, very consistent. It does the same thing every time.
Yes.
Very reliably.
I love that. I love that
but
about the tokens.
But it's just like last year. It's really the aggro decks that keep impressing us. I wonder why that is.
Because Pauper is an aggro-dominated format.
But it isn't. It's definitely not dominated by aggro decks at this point.
I'll use a poker term. Aggro wins better in the blind. I mean, it's just true. Aggro. That's why, like, the first couple times you draft cube, you should draft mono red, because it just has a high win percentage, even if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Aggro just fits that bill. Aggro is going to have a good matchup against a lot of different decks just because of how it's designed. So, and then you have a lot of JPS Snake builds in the Gauntlet still, and he just builds amazingly good aggro decks. So
super efficient.
Yeah.
Indeed. There are a couple of interesting decks coming up in round 6 now that I'm also impressed. There's a lot of interesting brews left, I think. Of course, the pig decks, Band, Sword, and Shield. Slivers is still around.
Hell yeah, it is. It's that awesome sideboard I made you.
And of course, I do have the most fear of Spiteful Leeches.
Spiteful Leeches.
And it's still in there.
It's such a crazy combo deck that no one sees coming.
2 white wheel decks still remain in the Pauper Gauntlet as well. That's kind of crazy. Cyborgs and soul tokens.
That's right, soul tokens.
One of those is a Jake deck. Cyborgs, right? He designed that. So
yes.
It's
good old Suicide White.
Well.
And that's it for the Gauntlet this week.
Okay, cool. When you do get down to the top 10, I'm going to make those snazzy cards for each of the top 10 decks.
Nice.
So that we can have a beautiful uniform front to our super cool YouTube site.
Awesome.
Yeah. So there we go, folks. And I figure at some point you'll probably play them again, so may as well have a card around for them. All right, that's going to bring us to the end.
But stick around because Sam and I are going to play some Standard Pauper.
Standard Pauper is about to happen, but as far as the show is concerned, consider going to MagicGatheringStrat.com. Also, YouTube/MagicGatheringStrat. If you like what we do, would like to see more, would like to keep Dan sane. Patreon.com/MagicGatheringStrat. If you want to be informed of everything we do, Twitter @MagicGathstrat. Trust me, that will tweet out the world every time something that we do happens. If you want to follow me, @CeruleanSaysHi. If you want to follow Sam, @SPO7677. Also, Dan is @DanHorning. Facebook.com/MagicGatheringStrat. Please like, subscribe, tell your friends, help us out by giving us a review on iTunes. Well,
I'd like to add something about the Patreon.
Sure, go for it.
I'll do a full video blog on this when the Pauper Gauntlet is over, but I started doing the full-time YouTube podcast thing last summer, and my government grant is now over, and I have until the end of this year to make it happen. And the MagicGatheringStrat Patreon is extremely important for this. So if you like to see me doing stuff on YouTube and in podcasts full time, this is very good. So please support the MagicGatheringStrat Patreon. Just $2 a month helps. There are also some very interesting goals in there, such as the budget modern gauntlet. And I think the Pauper conversion to modern videos are giving you a picture of what the modern gauntlet would be like. And there's also, of course, the Pauper Gauntlet Season 4. It could start early December this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so please, if you like Magic Gathering Strat, support the Patreon.
It really will help us out. All right. Well, for this week, I am Brennan.
I'm Sam.
I'm Dan.
And this has been the Magic Gathering Strat Show.
Doo-da, doo-da.
Uptown Racetrack.